Okay, guys. Promised you I would get back to work here, so that's what I'm doing. Back to inking. I don't suggest everybody do what I do, which is I'm doing a lot of drawing straight for the pen, right over my sort of loose pencil layouts. That comes with a lot of experience. And I still have to be really careful because it could be too much of a shortcut. It could get too sloppy, and sometimes I find myself having to fix work that if I just spent a little more time in the penciling stage, I wouldn't have to be fixing stuff, But generally it works out. Because, I've been doing this a long time, working over my own stuff. I'm curious how many of you artists out there, guys and gals, are working digitally like this. So I'm working in Clip Studio, which is like the fucking Photoshop killer. It's amazing. It's actually made for comics, so it's not like you're twisting photography tools into what we need to make comics. Yeah, I love me some Clip Studio. And I've said a couple times in the earlier video, I am not firing on all cylinders, as they say. Got a little chest cold thing going on. I'm just generally tired, and going to work through it anyhow. I wonder what you guys are working on. Can you post that stuff in responses? Can you post like any of your artwork or links to your stuff, to what you're doing? I'd be really interested in seeing what it is. Do you have any questions for me on stuff that you're working on that you think I might be able to offer some advice on? I'd totally be happy to check it out. You can even message me. That would work probably better. Alright, I want to draw some shadows on his face from his hair. So instead of making his hair black, I'm going to just make the shadows from his hair will be black. And I want to make sure that I'm using the shadows to sort of define the shape of his face there as well. But I'm still going to put some black shape in his hair. And you'll see how that plays out here when I shut off the background. Oh yeah, that works. That was just going to be the fold in his eye, but I kind of like the way the shadow lays down there. Excuse me, I got a text message from my boy, my son. Making a plan to go see him, which is good. I'm a bi-coastal father. That's just rough. Alright. Fairly happy with that. This looks a little weird here, but I kind of like the abstraction of it at the same time. I don't like her face. What can we do? Let's try. It's not so much that I drew it in a way that I don't like. There's something else I don't like. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to create this other layer And I'm going to make this pen really big. Well, I'll just use my penciling thing for this. I think I'm going to try and lay down his face, his shadow, the shadow of his face over her face. So I'm going to do this roughly like this. Then lower the opacity way down. Create another layer. Oops. Create another layer. I'll go back to my inking pen. Now I'm going to leave like a light breaking on the outline of her face here. Alright, see how this looks. I've got my my bucket here so that it fills out all the layers. So even though this is on another layer, it's still registering the lines underneath it. That looks weird, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't like that. Alright, let's get rid of that. But I have a feeling a shadow will still work, but let me just not try to be so... Let me try so hard. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to like this a lot better. Sometimes the simplest approach is the better approach. Keep it simple, dude and dudettes. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to merge it with the... Actually, before I merge it, I kind of like some of these lines here, so I'm going to erase on the shadow. Actually, just so I could see it, I'm going to do it right next. So I'm just erasing on the shadow layer right now. Alright, and then put that opacity back up. Now, when I lower it, there we go. I still got those lines. And she's not doing well, man. She's in the hospital. You've been in the hospital? That shit's rough. It's not good for your skin. Get all dried out. I'm going to put that shadow under here I had before. Pretty good. Pretty okay. I'm going to do something here for Taki because I like the effect of his hair leaving a shadow over his face. But, you know, black on black shadow is kind of tough to do sometimes. Sometimes I just go and do it, and it's just all black, you know, and that's really cool. But you still need, like, defining shapes and stuff. So I'm going to lower this, create another layer. And with this layer, I'm going to just draw in how I would like to see the shadows fall. Alright, and now I'm just going to label this layer Shadow Suggestions. Now the reason I'm saying suggestions is because the last thing I think an inker, an artist, a penciler, or anything should do is tell somebody else how to do something. I'm just suggesting here to Taki that I would like to see the shadows kind of in this shape. She can do them her own way with her own lines and her own shapes and stuff. That way the suggestion is there, right? So she kind of see what I was thinking. And then I'm just going to hide that layer. It's just going to be there. She'll see it. She'll decide to use it herself or not use it. Always got to be like super respectful of the rest of your team you're working with. And that includes your deadlines. You know, when you miss a deadline as a penciler, who do you think makes up for that time you lost? The inker. If you don't have an inker, then it's the colorist. And it's always, always the letterer who has to make up for everybody's deadlines. The letterers, man, they get fucked. I'm going to play around with her eyes later. I don't like this face here either. It's not horrible, but it's not a home run. It's not even third base. It's just acceptable. But what I like to do is just, I like to forward momentum on a page. So a lot of times I'll just leave something as is, unfinished, or just to get to the next spot. You know, like I said, I like momentum on page. I like moving forward. Alright, this will be fun because it's a large figure. I'm going to bust out a larger brush, like 70, like a size 70. Let's get into it. I'm not too concerned right now about the lighting, other than I know that it's from above, so we go thick to thin, or thin to thick. Thin from the lines closer to the light source, thicker the further you get away from it. You might be wondering, hey, Mike is drawing the outside line first, or he's inking the outside line first. There must be a reason for that. No. Sometimes there is. I mean, I think right now it's because he's the image in the foreground, and it's almost his silhouette, the outside of his body, that matters more than the details, because his body language is in there. It's not about him, it's about her reaction to something that's happening in the background. So really for him, it's just his outline shape that matters the most. So that's probably why I started on the outline of his body, because I realized that that's going to be the most important part of this. Get over to this bedpost thing. Oops. Fuck. Do it again. Yep. This is why I love having this pen. This is the back button, the undo button on this pen, which you can program in your pen settings, so that when I have something like this, I can just take it on as many times as I need to until I get it right. In my other hand, like an Alanis Morissette song is in my pocket. I don't know, I work like that. Hand in my pocket. Makes me want to go into Beastie Boys lyrics. Hand in my pocket, finger on my trigger. Pots is getting big. Pots is getting bigger. Karaoke with Mike Oeming. Oh, I'm using that really thick brush here. That's why it feels wonky. Although that probably would have been fine, really. Alright, let's get into this. Put this page down. I'm gonna kill it. Actually, I'm out of glasses. Like I said, my vision is like really weird lately. It's right in between needing my reader glasses, which the other ones were, and then my like art glasses, which are like for more detailed things. And I can't always tell. I don't know what's happening with my eyes. Just old. I'm getting old. Speaking of getting older, or old, I found I'm really enjoying drawing older characters and characters who are out of shape. Out of shape meaning like not superhero bodies. The amount of folds and shapes that you get out of them, I think, are more interesting. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, so I can relate to those shapes a little bit more, those folds and stuff. I don't know. But for whatever reason, like artistically, it's pretty fun. Like in that Hawkmother comic I drew, it was really fun drawing the old lady, like especially when she was naked. Not because for any pervy reasons or anything like that, but because it's just cool shapes. You have to do a lot more. Oh fuck, I'm so tired. But again, one of the things that I love about signing on or committing to this Patreon thing and doing these videos is I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay with the page, you know? I'm not going to allow myself to go, man, I'm tired. I should go sit down. Or go do this thing or that thing or find some excuse to walk away from the table. It's good discipline. Table discipline is tough, man. That'd be a good subject to talk about. Just sticking to the table. Just working. So, you probably saw the other video, the one about Twitch. So, the way I've got this video stream thing set up, it's through Streamlabs. And Streamlabs works by going directly into Twitch. So I think our best bet to be able to set up something is to do it through Twitch so that we can do like a live stream. I can draw and I can talk to you guys at the same time through the chat. I can't figure out too many other ways of going about it because I'm a Luddite. I don't really know how to use these programs or set things up. I'm only set up here because Nick Filardi visited from Florida and set shit up for me. So the downside is if we do a Twitch thing, some people could pop on and ask questions and listen who are not Patreons. But there doesn't seem to be a way to set up a stream on Twitch that's private, unless I find out otherwise. So that still might just be our best bet. Like we could set up a time, and anybody who pops in, they just happen to get lucky. But you guys and the Patreon will know, and we'll be able to do it. Hey, look, I just drew most of a hand with nothing there. I shouldn't really brag. It doesn't look that great. It looks fine. His face is feeling a little off. She's feeling a little too young here. But I'm not going to let that stop me right now. I'm going to move forward with it. Because being digital, it's easy to fix this shit later. And one of the things that I like to do is to finish a page. I know the details aren't finished. Sometimes I'll hand those pages into the editor or to Brian so that people can take a look at it. You know, I tell them page isn't finished. And then that way if they have any notes, which rarely happens because this is a creator-owned book, it's different than other stuff. There's rarely any notes. Sometimes Brian does for clarity, especially once we see the issue lettered. Then I can go back in, and having not looked at the page for, I don't know, a couple days, a day, even a couple hours, gives you a chance to look at it fresh again. Pardon me. It gives you a chance to look at the page fresh, which is really important, because you can see what you did right, what you did wrong, what you like, what you don't. So believe it or not, this page is pretty much done. Pretty much done to the extent that I can fill in these black areas. And while this might seem hard to see, because I have the black, what do you call it, black gutters and stuff, I saved the panel borders on another layer, and I'm going to invert those so that they'll end up being, well, actually I could just do it now real quick. Just drop in a bucket on those. I think this will work. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. I'm not sure what the line is about, but it disappears when you get in there. You can also select all that and then delete it or some crazy shit. I don't know. I'm going to leave it for there for now. Just gives you an idea of like what I was thinking. You don't want to have too much black on black. You want to be able to, the eye to see where the panel borders are. And the lettering helps with that too. Alright, there's going to be more black and more details and shit in here, but for now, yeah. So like I'm definitely going to have to create another layer here. I'm going to get my penciling pen. And I'm going to lay down some shadows here. Shadow sketches. Just give me an idea where or what I'm going to want to do here. And I'm going to put the shadows not on the object but behind the object. So she's the object. I could put shadows like this, like along her arm, but then there's no shadow behind her. And is it kind of weird that there's a shadow on her arm but not on the object behind her? But then if I also did the object behind her, now her arm just looks like it's this teeny tiny thin thing. So lately I've been really getting into putting shadows behind the object. Something you'd think I would have figured out long ago. I think I did it long ago, and then I just stopped doing it for some reason. Sometimes you pick up a new technique and you forget using other techniques or older techniques. It just happens. Alright. So let's do... That's the shadows. Now get back the inking layer again, and my inking pen. I want the shadow to overlap with this area, with the panel border, so it'll just help define these shapes some. So that's going to be all black in there. This is going to be black from her hair. Black, black, black. Black, 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 black. It's also tough for me inking or drawing without something to listen to other than my own stupid voice. Like, Usually I listen to a lot of music. There's some podcasts and stuff. I like weird stuff, weird bullshit. I like podcasts. Mostly music. I like music because I can kind of daydream. Alright, let's see how this looks. Let's get rid of that shadow layer and then just start laying in a black here. What's going on there? I gotta create a border. Okay. That's a weird shape here, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah, that's good. Feels like I skipped some stuff in her face. Oh, here we go. I'm going to need a smaller brush for this. Alright, I think that's good. That shadow on ear doesn't make any sense, but I like the way it looks. So still gonna have to go back in and do details on her face and her eyes, some other things. It's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. But for now, I'm done. And like I said, now I'm going to be able to go back into this and look at it fresh again with fresh eyes. I'm going to put in more details, some rendering and stuff. But for now, this is basically it. You know, this is all the information I need on the page. I need a break, so I'm going to go do a break, and then I think I'll lay out the rest of the book, which is a couple more pages of pencils. Then I'll come back to this and look at it with fresh eyes. I mean, I can already see stuff as I'm looking at it right now. I could just take the time to sit here and to do it, but I'm going to move forward and start taking on the next page, because it gives me a sense of accomplishment, a sense of moving forward, and then when I go back and then do these touch-ups on the pages, it's pretty quickly done. Like, I'm often surprised at how quickly when I go back in. Like right now, this feels in my head like another half hour of work, but chances are when I go back in, it'll be 10 or 15 minutes, maybe. And the reason why it's shorter when I actually go back in versus if I just kept going is because you have a renewed sense of energy, a renewed sense of purpose, and having finished something, and you're looking at it fresh so that the answer just comes to you really quickly. So, I'm going to move on from here. This is that page, all done. I'm betting it's about an hour and a half altogether, maybe less if I wasn't talking and stuff. There you go. Trying to think if I have anything else to say about it. I don't think so. All right. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me ramble and ink. And yeah, I'll post this page when it's all done, all the final details and stuff. And that's it. Take care, guys.